Federal agents are right now investigating Sean P. Diddy Combs for alleged sex trafficking and assault crimes. The music mogul is denying the claims. On Monday, agents raided his homes both in Los Angeles and also in Miami. Authorities not saying exactly yet what they're looking for. Trial attorney and legal analyst Misty Marris is with us now. I guess if I'm part of his team, I'm saying, what right do you have to come onto my property? So what would have to take place in order for them to conduct a raid like this?
Yeah, Marnie, this was a very coordinated effort, and it began in New York, in the Southern District, New York. But we see that this raid was done at the same time in Los Angeles and Miami, which means significant coordination in the federal government. Now, in order to get a warrant to conduct this type of raid, there has to be probable cause. Probable cause that a crime was committed and that there is likely to be evidence relating to that crime at both of these properties. Now, these probable cause affidavits have to specify what underlying information, what underlying potential evidence they have that justifies entering these homes. And to boot, we see this raid, we see heavily armed agents from Homeland Security. That means that they are concerned about evidence being destroyed. And that's why you see this being such an extreme measure, this raid happening at the same time. And also you see the armed individuals in addition to just the amount of agents that are going in there. So there's several different areas that had to be presented to a judge in an affidavit before getting the authority to go in and conduct this raid.
And these are massive properties. We're looking from above how big some of these homes are. I believe that one was in Miami. How much will Sean Combs be told about the search, and what types of things are authorities likely looking for?
They're definitely looking for electronic information. And Marnie, to your point, that home in Miami, that's on Star Island. That's one of the wealthiest areas in the country, an expansive property. Electronic footprint is always going to be of paramount importance. Now, we know Sean Combs, his phone was confiscated before he actually left Florida. So they're definitely looking for electronic footprint. They're looking for anything else, whether it be photographs, documents, information. That's everything that's going to be part of that probable cause affidavit. Now, the affidavit has to be specific about the breadth of the search. But when you see this, a raid, it seems to be that this is really expansive and is allowing the federal government to go in and do a thorough and complete search of the property, meaning it's not limited to the exterior, it's not limited in its scope. So I imagine they're looking for evidence that would relate to any federal crimes. And Marnie, that's really important here. This is the federal government. That means allegations of rape, sexual assault, that would generally be under the jurisdiction of a state. So this is more likely in furtherance of allegations or information regarding what we've seen in some of these civil cases: sex trafficking, drug trafficking, racketeering. It would have to fall under federal jurisdiction. So that's where this case stands now. However, there's been no report that an arrest has actually been made.
Okay, and do we know who that may be? Are you hearing?
Well, at this point, we know that Sean Combs, there's no information that he's been arrested. We did see two individuals who have been reported to potentially be his sons who were handcuffed. That's in videos from the raid. Were they arrested? We don't currently know. They could have potentially been restrained if there was a potential threat of resistance, or the potential for that as the federal government came in. That could be a reason to handcuff those that were at the property. So right now, it's a bit up in the air.
All right. And if you are the legal defense for Sean P. Diddy Combs, what are you telling him to do right now?
To not speak to anybody without your lawyer, to wait to see what the next move the federal government is. Right now, this is the investigatory phase, Marnie, so we don't know when or if at all this will lead to an arrest. This is just the gathering of potential evidence. The next step, if it does happen, would be to go and get that arrest warrant and then continue down that legal process. But from a defense perspective, do not speak to anybody without your lawyer present.
Yeah, some very serious allegations being posed here, and some massive raids at these two large properties. Misty Marris, as always, thank you. We're following this one closely.